Will be presenting pharmacy and prescription benefits to you today. Prescription benefits typically within your first 90 days, you are eligible to purchase prescription drug coverage for yourself and eligible dependents for an additional cost. Biweekly buy-up cost coverage is in addition to the employee contribution, any applicable medical plan and or buy-ups you pay when enrolled in any of these health benefits. If you are a full-time employee and enroll in medical benefits during the first 90 days of employment, you will automatically be enrolled in prescription drug and benefits and supplemental benefits after 90 days with no additional cost. If you're part-time, however, there are additional costs for prescription drug and supplemental benefits. So you would not automatically be enrolled. You would have to call your HR to figure out what you qualify for. Supplemental benefits are basically your dental, your vision, and prescription that kicks in like after that 90-day period. Supplemental doesn't work in conjunction with primary insurance, is purchased to cover gap in coverage, and can be used right away. Secondary, however, works in conjunction with primary insurance. It will cover remaining costs primary health insurance doesn't, and there's no access to these benefits until primary insurance benefits are exhausted. So here's a chart that my brother sent me where within the first 90 days of his employment, he would have to pay $80.52, or for a family, $199.77. After the 90 days, it automatically kicks in and he doesn't have to pay anything. It is important to note that part-time employees should contact their HR service for information on the costs and enroll in these benefits, as they could be different by like the store, how many hours you have to work, etc. So you just have to see like what you qualify for. It is also important to know that prescription drug benefits could be provided through specific pharmacies, so you would have to go to specific pharmacies to get stuff filled for it to apply. That and like the price kind of differs on what you would be paying depending on where you go or where you get it through. It is also important to know that most health insurance have something that includes prescription coverage. So this is just to show you, this chart has generic, preferred brand name, like the cost of the different places. So I'm going to walk you through this. Generic versus brand name. Basically, generic is like getting a plain white t-shirt. Brand name, is typically your Nike logo white t-shirt where you're paying way more for it than the plain white t-shirt costs significantly less, but it's basically the same makeup. Generic brands, by law, have to be made up of the same stuff the brand name is, and it has to be safe, which basically if it's made up the same thing, it's obviously safe. So an example would be like Tylenol would be your brand name, the generic would be like what Tylenol is made up of, which is acetaminophen. Sorry, it's like kind of hard to say, but that would be the generic, Tylenol would be the brand name. It also makes a difference if you are getting a 30-day supply or if you are getting a 90-day supply. It is significantly cheaper if you get a 90-day supply, and as you can see, depending on where you go, the prices differ. Alright, now to inform you on drug formularies. A drug formulary is a list of medicines that your health insurance plan helps pay for. This is typically drugs that are selected by doctors and pharmacists to ensure that they are safe, effective, and affordable medicines within like these plans. There are changes with drugs every so often to where like some get taken off the market because they are unsafe, etc. So basically this is always updated. Your doctor typically can help you find the best alternative. So if they prescribe one thing for you and it's not within your plan, they could prescribe something else that is. Also, just so you know, like mostly generic drugs are within this list, and it's basically because they are significantly cheaper and they're exactly the same thing. So what you see advertised is typically more expensive because it is the brand name stuff. It's also important to know that cosmetic drugs are not included. Also, your doctor can make exceptions to where they can call into your insurance and basically tell them why they think it's necessary for you to be on a specific medicine, and typically your insurance will help and give pre-authorization to getting covered for that specific medicine. Another thing I really wanted to talk about was health savings account, which is an HSA card. So this is a types of savings account that lets you set aside money on a pre-tax basis to pay for qualified medical expenses. Those medical expenses could be deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance, and some other expenses like prescriptions. And whatever is not used within that year automatically rolls over into the next. My brother has one of these, and he typically was given it through, he works at a pharmacy, and they gave him one of those, and it has like $5,000 on it. Whatever he doesn't use rolls into the next, and he can also use that like if he gets headaches and stuff and needs to go buy Advil, Aleve, Tylenol, whatever. They could also qualify to be used under that, so that just kind of helps with that. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Here's my resources.